that American medicine is a loner on earth in ruining children's lives. And I'll name names. The article names names. The leading pediatrician in England has said there's virtually no evidence for giving hormone blockers to children who say they're the opposite sex. There is no left like the American left. There's also no right like the American right. We have a robust antibiotic called robust conservatism. I mean, I could go through the list, but there's no PragerU in England. Well, you listen to PragerU in England, but there's no PragerU in England. There's no Daily Wire in England. There's no Turning Point in England. It's and all the fantastic sites that you could learn truth. They have the Telegraph. It's fantastic, the Daily Telegraph. Perhaps the best newspaper in the world right now. There's nothing like the Wall Street Journal opinion pages. Epoch Times is a spectacular newspaper. It's close, the closest rivalry to the Telegraph. But we do have a robust opposition to the left. The American Academy of Pediatrics declined to comment on Dr. Cass's specific findings. Isn't that amazing? England decides not to give these hormone blockers to kids, and the American Academy of Pediatrics declines to comment on it? And condemned the state bans. Quote, politicians have inserted themselves into the exam room, which is dangerous for both physicians and for families. Dr. Ben Hoffman, the organization's president, said. Dr. Ben Hoffman, I don't know who the hell he is, but I do believe this. I believe that there is a good and noble judging God. It is inconceivable to me that he will not be judged harshly if there is a good God. That's what I have to say about Dr. Ben Hoffman. The Endocrine Society, that's another major medical group, told the New York Times that Dr. Cass's review, quote, does not contain any new research.
So what? What if it's not new research? Maybe that just condemns them even more.
That would contradict its guidelines. The federal health, that's a great point. The research has already been done. The Federal Health Department did not respond to requests for comment. I mean, you know, when the New York Times calls an agency, you figure they'll get some response. They have nothing to say. Dr. Cass spoke to the New York Times about her report and the response from the United States. So here is an excerpt from Dr. Cass's interview with the New York Times. The most important concern for me is just how poor the evidence is in this area. The University of York, which is kind of the home of systematic reviews, one of the key organizations that does them in the country, found that evidence in this field was strikingly lower than other areas, even in pediatrics. What some organizations are doing is doubling down on saying the evidence is good, and I think that's where you're misleading the public. Very gentle of her. But that's right. They're misleading the Republic. Dr. Ben Hoffman! How do you live with yourself? I know how he lives with himself. Because most people who do bad things ideologically think they're wonderful. That's the answer. I told you the conscience is as strong. Is silly putty the most malleable substance? I just think of the human conscience in a man like Ben Hoffman is useless. It's just useless. Now, mind you, one of us is utterly wrong, either I or Dr. Ben Hoffman. This is what you call a binary. We can't both be right. Either I'm misleading you or he's misleading you. But my track record is almost 1,000. I said the lockdowns were the greatest international mistake in history. 2 months into the lockdowns, it's on the internet. I've warned you about the universities for 40 years, that they were moral cesspools, that you play Russian roulette with your children's values if you send them to college. Remember? I got a good track record. Said if you were healthy, you shouldn't take the vaccine. Wasn't a popular position. Listen to the comments. The first comment, I go by popularity. I click on most popular. Here's the most popular comment in the New York Times. Remember, you have to be a subscriber to the New York Times to comment. 15th year of high school teaching here, and I just want to say, please, he capitalized please. AAP. What's the AAP? American what? Association of Pediatrics? American Academy. It said American Academy of Pediatrics. Wake up! Every single student I have worked with who is trying to transition has other major comorbid mental health struggles. No kidding. You think healthy kids say, oh, I'm the other sex? You know how much is going wrong with that kid aside from that? But the left has given them this out. Oh, you're really the other sex. Because there's no such thing as sex. Biological sex means nothing. Gender is everything. All of those struggles were pre-existing to gender dysphoria. 2 weeks ago, this is again 15 years of high school teaching, first most popular comment on the New York Times piece. 2 weeks ago, a student told me that their doctor had done the following at one, and he capitalizes the word one, appointment. Raised their Adderall dosage, raised their Zoloft dosage, and started them on Lupron, which is a puberty blocker, in one appointment. This student is 15 years old and a high school sophomore. Undoubtedly, he was a psychiatrist. One appointment. Oh, you're really a girl. Let me help you be a girl. For the full episode of the Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.